My name is Katie Turbot, and I am in the sophomore class, attending Paul VI Catholic High School. For my project, I decided to discuss the process of a garment from the first sketch until the finished product. I never realized how much time-consuming work was needed when constructing a garment. When you see an expensive garment in a store, the first thought that may enter your mind is the detail and color. But do you ever think about the process of how that garment was made? I too was curious about the work that designers and their teams had to achieve before their final look was complete. I did research and spoke to a person in the fashion industry for insightful details about a garment. I'm eager to share the steps you need to accomplish before you have fully completed your design. Phillip Lim is a high-end brand, and their design process is very long. But in order to execute their very best work, they must abide by it. Each step in creating a garment is extremely crucial when executing the final product. The first step when creating a new design is to look for inspiration. Paige Kettering, an employee of the designer Phillip Lim, explained to me, "The first thing we do in a collection is the inspiration, and usually that comes straight from the design director. The design director, in her case, is Phillip Lim. He would send the team images he found inspiration from. The fashion director wants to see what other ideas come to mind and what other designers look to for inspiration. Finding inspiration is a vital part of the design. Without inspiration, the design would not exist. Establishing the theme of your garment can be very difficult because it is starting point at which you are beginning your new look. Before a designer can sketch, they find various inspirational images, fabric swatches, and just ideas in general. To further elaborate, the designers then will pin their ideas and inspirations on a large styrofoam board located in the studio. Designers put up images and swatches of fabric to provide their thoughts and views for the direction of the design. There are various different branches in the design teams at Phillip Lim, who is the design director. Designers will be put in groups specifically designated to their design strength. Within Phillip Lim, there are multiple groups, a team of menswear, embroidery, and knitwear, to name a few, meaning each group will have a different take on the inspiration and have different elements of design to bring to the table. The individual design teams continuously pin things that inspire them. The beginning of the process of the design is vital to the final creation because these two steps set the tone at which the designers will follow. The inspiration process lasts until the design director gets back to you. The designer's different ideas give the design director more inspiration. It's a collaborative effort. With the designer's new input, the design director is motivated to start to design the actual garments. The collaboration of ideas helps to set the path of the design. The next course of action is to begin sketching. By indicating the design theme, the team can finally start to draw their own sketches. The design team will then sketch on their own. After sketching looks, designers will meet with the design director. This meeting is called the sketch review. At the meeting, you will present your styrofoam boards with your previous ideas and your new sketches. A majority of design companies will do sketch reviews because it's easier for the design director. The design director most likely has an overwhelming schedule to uphold to. Therefore, they do not have spare time to simply sit down and sketch. The design director will then review what you have showcased. When the sketch review is completed, designers transition into the editing process. As the designer, you start to modify your work and recognize what needs to be changed. This process can last up to a few weeks. The editing stage of design is quite repetitive. The designer will edit their sketches, make more sketches, and then improve those sketches. This happens until the design director approves and wants to produce your sketch into a garment. If the design director feels they are confident in your work, the design team will distribute the sketch to the pattern maker. The pattern maker's job is to listen to the designer's vision and replicate the design out of muslin. Muslin is a cotton material that is very lightweight and is used to make the basis of a garment. Utilizing muslin is very significant because this is the first effort to make the sketch with raw materials. The muslin is then sewn and a model will come into the studio for a fitting. The fittings for the models can last for hours. The muslin technique is a great way to display what still needs to be assembled differently. The design director attends the fitting along with a technical director. The muslin will then get critiqued. The team will discuss what needs to be improved. The muslin will most likely need other alterations. The muslin is usually hemmed after being fitted to the model's figure. Afterwards, if the team is proud of the work, they bring the sample back to the pattern maker for the new adjustments. The designer discussed the modification the muslin needs with the pattern maker. The pattern maker works diligently to finalize the measurements. Later, the real fabric the design director has chosen is cut. Phillip Lim's brand would then send their muslin along with the fabric they chose to China. When China receives the muslin, they replicate it with the fabric of choice. China then sends the final design back to Phillip Lim. To conclude, the process of making a garment is far more complicated than I had ever imagined. When you begin with your ideas, you have to try to be cohesive with the designer's inspiration and aesthetic. Inspiration is the key to a design. You need to incorporate elements from the original concept as well as creating your own fresh take on the inspiration. The styrofoam boards Phillip Lim's team utilizes helps them to see their own perspective and make as many edits as necessary. A large visual aid gives the designers a better chance to revise their sketches. Seeing them in a large scale can pinpoint to the mistakes they may have made. Sketching the look does not happen overnight. The designer makes many adjustments before the final sketch is chosen and approved. I was surprised how much editing accounted for making a garment. Designers must edit thoroughly to ensure they will have a presentable look. At Phillip Lim, they have the advantage of having a pattern maker within their studio. This saves time and gives the designer a better opportunity to explain their vision in depth. I now realize how pivotal the muslin is to a garment. The muslin works as a prototype for the garment, and without it, China's manufacturers would not be able to replicate the design. The manufacturers need the muslin for guidance and could not recreate the design from a sketch alone. The steps in creating a garment are extremely crucial when executing the final product, and without structure and a well-thought-out plan, the garment will never be successfully finished or produced.